All right, when last we left our adventuring party, there had been a split that had occurred within the gaming group. The Snorri Brightblade had been called back to town, going specifically to Daggerdale. There was a political issue that was at play, and you were requested there with utmost urgency. And because you were investigating a murder with all these other people, you were kind of curious as to whether or not this might be a setup. And so instead of going by yourself, you had Jinsarin accompany you. That way he could watch from the shadows if he needed to and spring out to assist if something stupid happened. Turns out that the level of urgency was a little bit exaggerated, but it was because the person who was coming down to work as a intermediary between the dwarves of the Eagles area and Randallborn in Daggerdale, cousin. Sacco Brightblade, and he was definitely happy to hear that you were in town, and he was going to make sure as much as possible that he saw you. And so when you get to town and you're told to go to the Red Roof Inn in order to meet with the consulate that's supposed to be representing the Eagles area in future endeavors, you show up, and he already has 3 rounds of beer set out for you.
All right, gotta catch up.
Yep. So you end up spending several hours catching up, and he, of course, is in the Red Roof Inn with you, realizing, well, not in danger, but I'm already here. Take one of those.
You get the one over your shoulder. How are you drinking, buddy?
All right. Now, the rest of the group had continued investigating the murder.
We were heading back to Daggerdale to find Hobble, which
Yes.
he was supposed to be at the inn that you just mentioned. That his character was at.
Yeah. So, while investigating the murder of Govar Metz, you gathered some information and then had determined that you needed to return back to Daggerdale because you wanted to look for Hobble, a human fighter who regularly frequents both the Teshford Arms and the Red Roof Inn in Daggerdale. He's the closest individual to you that's a person of interest, specifically as a possible target for future murder. Not by you. Hopefully, you're going to be able to defend him against such. That's the plan.
Whether it works or not.
Yeah, we'll see how well that works. Now, since you know for certain that Red Roof Inn is one of those places that he regularly goes to, and it's someplace that you were expecting your compatriots to be, that made sense to be your first location to head.
Okay.
So, arriving at the Red Roof Inn, this is the rebuilt Red Roof Inn.
Right.
Again, the ground floor area, the exterior is now in stone, mostly limestone, but it also has some the wattle style fence that's covered in plaster on the interior in order to make it look a little bit nicer. Opening up the door, stepping inside, you can see that there's fresh hay that has been laid all around the interior. You can smell that strong wheat/hay smell. There's definitely a strong smell of beer and mead that has been spilled, with a slight tinge of vomit that has been periodically cleaned up since the place has been rebuilt. Above and beyond that, there's definitely a heavy smell of lamb and pork that has been cooking. And you can see that there's still a fair number of people inside the tavern. Immediately you see your 2 new compatriots, well, new/old, depending upon who you are, sitting at a table with another dwarf or 2. And that puts us right here. We have This is Marduk, or Marduk, pardon me. We've got Lorafine. We've got Drax. And this is
Leo.
Leo.
Yeah, I just called him Leo. No, the reason I
And
called
changed his name.
Yeah, he changed his name.
Okay, what's my name?
Lock Thandar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wait a minute. It's Lock Thandar.
Yeah, I'm gonna go by Leo. I want to
My eyes are blue.
eyes.
There's a lot of green now.
Yep. I haven't been messed up in like a day, so you can't blame that.
Yeah. Lock Thandar, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
All right.
And he has changed his name.
So,
Get to memory. His name's Leo now. Less syllables.
well, that was two names. Locke is the first name, L-O-C. So,
Stroke victim.
stroke victim, yeah. Well, I think you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you know, insanity doesn't run in our family. It basically walks 6 times,
It might.
shakes
Nobody
its
remembers.
hand. Huh?
I said it might, but nobody remembers.
Yeah, nobody remembers.
Now, with the rebuild, you have the main area at the front that has most of the tables, chairs. The chairs were done up quick and they're bench style rather than individual chairs. Back in the far corner, you have an area where a lot of bards and others of the intellects have chosen to spend a fair amount of their time because you actually have a bookshelf near the fireplace,
Right.
and there are a small collection of books that detail lore, epic poems, bits of history, things of that nature.
Have I ever played here?
Yes.
Okay, so some of the bards I may know a little bit better.
Yes.
I mean, but they
Is there a
only.
stage? Is that a stage?
There is a stage, and there are presently 2 people up on stage. One is singing, while the other is playing a lute.
Okay. Yep.
Are they doing the raven-haired lady?
They are not doing the raven-haired lady.
Do they take requests?
Yeah, the Mike Myers theme song.
Probably, but you've been a little bit busy up until this
Yeah.
point. Catching up on all the exploits over the last couple of years since you had last seen your cousin.
Mark, can you remember what your character's name is? Is it?
Mine?
Yes.
Snorri.
I thought that's.
Snorri Brightblade.
It's been a few dwarfs, so I couldn't remember which
Ain't
dwarf.
no lie.
There's been several.
Snorri. Okay.
Okay.
The Bobsey twins.
So, you. Okay.
You know.
When
you
we
know,
walk in,
Bobsey
I'll
twins.
kill Snorri and start walking his way.
Hey, Snorri! And in you walk, waving them over.
Yes. Sit. Do we have enough tables? Do we need to move tables together?
Probably going to have to move tables together.
No, some tables together. So.
There's a lot of people around the table.
Yes.
Sorry.
And wait staff here takes orders as you guys sit down.
Yep. Any fool can make flour for bread. Let us give thanks to the Lord. Beer.
Yeah. Yes. Make bread from flour. Not
Yeah.
flour for bread. All right. So you're all sitting at the table, and at least 2 people here don't know what you guys learned from the investigations. Leaving it up to you to give them the information.
Enlighten us.
So, do you have your notes or do I need to do it?
I'm going to let you talk because I'm going to be roaming the bar looking for our feller.
Okay.
Okay.
Just kind of perusing around to see who's all here.
Okay.
Okay.
Perusing.
He's wandering. Okay. Go ahead and start in with
So, in exploring his house, we discovered a secret entrance under his stairs that had a statue bust of the god of Tempest.
Tempest. Yeah.
God of War.
Yep, god of war.
God of Paddle.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I think we'd seen some of the stuff.
There were.
He had-
He had 3 different little alcove things where he had set up
Additional.
stuff. So
There was
were,
an additional bus that was hidden under the stairs, and it was the secret door that led outside. And that's where the creatures came in from, because the lady, I forgot to write her name.
Shelley Wren.
Yes. She said that she heard the people or creatures or whatever they were come from under the stairs to that door, and it took 4 of us to find the door. It was well hidden.
I swallowed wrong. Sorry.
Based off of the descriptions of the creatures, we believe they're webblers.
What?
Webblers? No?
Web lurkers.
I abbreviated it. That's fine.
Okay.
And
Web lurkers.
what is a web lurker?
It's a humanoid with mandibles and huge claws that is reminiscent of a spider.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was less than excited.
Is this a new creature?
It's
I've not heard of a web lurker before.
they
Are
are
these an Underdark thing?
in where's that name of the forest?
They're
Spider Haunt.
Spiderhawk. They're from Spiderhawk.
Spider Haunt Forest. There's a usual thing there. Are
The
these like
Spider Haunt Forest is southwest of Daggerdale. Specifically more to the west, but if you go south and then west through the forest, it takes you into the Spider Haunt Woods.
what can we know of these web? Are they like
They usually
half breeds or some sort of weird?
I don't know the particulars. Our wizard might have more knowledge of that.
But he's wondering.
He's wondering.
Yeah. But they are usually by themselves or in pairs. She heard 8 to 10 of them in the house. And
Okay.
the last thing she remembers hearing Govar Metsk yell is Gothel, do your worst, who is apparently a sorceress that was trapped within the sword of the Dales. That are along with 4 others released from the sword.
No.
No? Randall Morn released them.
Randall Morn got somebody else to release them.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the
Govar Metsk and the others helped
find
retrieve
the sword. Yes. They helped find the sword. So we believe Gothel is seeking vengeance on releasing her from the sword or whatever.
She didn't want to be released from the sword, so she wants to be put back in the sword. Is that what she wants? We can probably get this done.
I don't know the particulars.
Willing
but-
people to go back into things, that's usually pretty easy.
Yeah. So
If she's upset about I got kicked out of my home, I want to go back. It's the Matrix.
Okay. Well, one of the problems with that is she was separated by Elminster.
Oh,
Yeah, Elminster of the Dales.
Elminster ended up doing it, researching exactly how to remove her because of her evil presence. The Sword of the Dales is the rightful sword of the leader of Daggerdale. It
Randall
is
Morn.
Randall Morn's sword. It should have been his, bequeathed. It had gone missing. He went searching for it.
And
Found the sword.
Yeah.
Found the sword, and then they found him because he went missing. These 5 people,
Yes.
they found Randall Morn because, well, they were tasked with it. Randall Morn had been gone for too long. That happened in the year time frame that we did a time skip. So between the last gaming session of the first
Okay,
campaign,
so Randall was searching for the sword,
we're searching for the sword.
found said sword, but went missing in the process.
Yes.
They didn't know where
They
it
had no idea.
So he sent the dude that's dead
Plus
and,
4 others.
and 4 others
That's
to
what
go
you got so
find
far.
Randall Morin to make sure he's okay.
Yes.
And upon finding him
They rescued him.
from...
Yes. You don't know that yet.
Okay.
They rescued him, brought him back. He had the Sword of the Dales. Then major incursion of orcs occurred. You had a invasion of the town. That's when the original Red Roof Inn was burned to the ground.
Okay.
After that, Randall Morin was fully instituted as the Lord of Daggerdale.
Okay.
Constable Tran was booted during the confrontation with the orcs because it became apparent that he was helping the orcs.
Okay.
So
That's a lot of his orc bodyguards.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So now
So-
our goal is to find the 4 remaining. There was a tapestry
And I have it.
in. Yes, he has
I
it.
have it,
But
and I
there's
can
a
open it
tapestry
up.
of the 5. So we have the faces, and their names are Danya, which she is a nimble-fingered
Half elf.
person,
Okay.
half elf. She was last rumored to be in Shadowdale. Burgum, who is a priest of Tempest. He is rumored to also be in the Shadowdale area.
Okay.
And then Hobble is a human fighter that apparently some people have made jokes that he's like an orc or something like that.
He's been accused of being a half orc.
Yeah.
He
is a-
isn't, but he's ugly enough to be considered a half orc.
Okay.
Yeah, he got beat with the half-orc stick.
He didn't get just hit by the single
He
ugly
hit
stick.
everyone down.
He hit all of the branches on the way down the
Okay.
tree.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
He's rumored to be
You know, I can almost write
Here.
a song about that.
he's rumored to be here in Daggerdale, either at this inn or the
Catchford Arms.
Penford Arms Inn. So we're going to be looking at these 2 areas for
him. Okay.
And then Nori is a sorceress who is rumored to be in the tower just northwest of here.
Okay.
Northwest of the Eagles area.
So those are the 2 close by. Everyone else is in
Yes.
Shadowdale.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mindset is finding them all and then
It was best we just quick refreshment. Have we sent any like ravens or messengers in search of the other 2 in Shadowdale?
no, we sent a message to Randall
Because he's possibly a target.
because
Yeah.
he's a
Sense.
possible target.
Now, okay, just so
He was in Battledale.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Oh,
have
he's not
written
even
down
here.
He's
that
not
he
even
was
here.
on his way to
Okay.
Castleheart.
Or Tasseldale, yeah.
Yeah, Castledale.
Yeah. Tasselheart in
now
Tasseldale.
these 5 people found Randall, brought him back, all was cool. Invasion of the orcs. Yay. Now, Elminster shows up and says, "Hey, I got to break your sword. Can I release these people from it?"
No,
How or why did we release these people from the sword?
he released this individual from the sword because the individual was a spirit, not a person, and it had a negative influence. There was an
Negative
obvious
enchantment.
evil emanating from her,
Basically.
Okay, so he
was
wanted the
cursing
evil
them.
taken out of the sword.
and by doing so,
He
removed her,
removed her.
so she is no longer attached.
So she is a freewheeling spirit now?
Of some sort. You're not certain exactly how physical, how spirit she is at this point.
Okay.
Just know that she's been removed from it
By
And she
Elminster.
is
by
looking
Elminster, and you can't really talk to him at the moment because he's not in this plane of existence. He's, off on one of the other elemental planes or a spirit plane. He was doing research. That's why Leo, his aide, found you guys
Yeah.
to investigate the murder.
So,
Now, do I know everybody? I mean, I've seen
Yes.
these.
In the intervening year, this entire group has gotten to know one another.
Okay.
For the most part, he's the one who has probably had the least interaction with the two newer members to the group because he had been off working on something regarding the dwarven sword.
Yes.
And he was able to get that taken care of. He removed the enchantment without destroying the sword, so the sword could be returned to the dwarves in Eagle's Eyrie and still have a nice sharp sword with protections on it, but not have it be a +4 against spellcasters. So he made her god happy,
Right.
as well as his previous character, who had been tasked with making certain that that happened. So, did not deface the sword in any fashion, just removed the enchantment so that it couldn't be used specifically against wizards, which was the big issue.
But, so, my thought process is getting Hobble and Nori immediately, and if we can at least get to her tower, because that's outside of town, then less likely to have Gothel cause harm to innocent bystanders if she decides to attack while we're here.
Innocence, these people involved, and also by meeting up with these people, finding them, you can maybe get more information.
Yes.
Okay.
Because the woman who was witness to the murder, and speaking of, you did leave some things out, so that'll be fun.
I'm trying to figure out the purple spider. What? Listen. Oh yeah. There was also a giant lizard.
Giant
Man.
lizard man.
A humanoid lizard.
It was described as a flying lizard, not a lizard man.
I don't remember it being
A flying lizard,
Yes,
like
But not a dragon.
but not a dragon.
it has the
Okay.
wings between the arms and legs.
Didn't get that good of a description because they didn't ask.
A flying dragon.
No, not dragon. Flying lizard that is definitely not a dragon.
Dragon, not lizard.
Okay. That was missing from my notes.
Yes.
So I was-
That was
I was
the
more
very
Did
focused
you
on the
fight a
spider
flying
things.
lizard or just see a flying lizard? Or
We ourselves
What
didn't
is
see it.
We didn't
It
yet.
was
lizard? Okay.
This is what
So,
the
I'm
lady
just,
of
the
the
witness.
night.
I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm wandering by the table and over here.
Okay.
So, the recall of this was there was probably about a 7 to roughly 8 foot lizard type that was at the door when he opened it. They thought that they heard some commotion from the barn just after they'd finished dinner, and he thought the ghouls came back and were messing with his livestock. That's why he was already geared in armor. He was going to go out and try to run them off. When he opened the door, there was this lizard thing that started to try to barge its way in, at which point he engaged it, started to fight with it, managed to shove it back out the door, which was where the claw marks had come from.
Okay.
He slammed the door shut behind him. She stayed inside, and after a few minutes, he came barging back in, slammed the door back shut, gave her what we believe was an invisibility potion, and told her to go upstairs and hide, where she ended up hiding in the wardrobe after drinking this potion, and that's when she heard the rest of the commotion that took place.
and one of the
We didn't see
web
it.
lurkers. One of the web lurkers came into the room to investigate, but didn't see her.
She saw the thing that she described that you believe is a web lurker. And there were some rules about, what a web lurker is, and it's been very minimal information that was provided about that.
Robbins was about the only person that had knowledge on it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I can recall that even would be that, be that way, or look like that.
So, on that note, I'm going to go over to the bar.
Okay.
And of course, I've got to go to the
The stage.
thespians.
I'm gonna go chat with them.
Gonna go chat with.
They have finished their set and they're taking a break. The barmaid has brought over some ales for them.
Right.
And you're wandering over to the bar, high or low?
Low.
We'll start with you. Yep. You're over at the bar. There's 3, 4 guys there, plus the bartender.
I'm gonna be talking with the bartender. Is it one of the bartenders I know from past run-ins?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna greet him. So hey, all of our people are here. We're gonna need a little bit of rest and refreshment, and looking around. What kind of a just rough estimate head count for the patrons?
Counting us and yourself, 2, 4, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 people in here.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and put down 3 gold for the bartender. Tell her, hey, that big table we pushed together over there, can we go ahead and get whatever you guys got on hand for food.
More food, more drink, just bring it over.
Drink, cover.
Food and drink, keep it covered.
And whatever's left over, cover people's tabs and take a little tip for yourself.
Okay.
And by chance, have you seen a feller goes by the name of Hobble around? I heard he comes in here quite a bit.
Name of Hobble.
Big guy, might have been confused by an orc as he's got some rough features.
Oh, Gustav.
Gustav, huh?
Gustav. Yeah. Guy definitely has. Yeah, he's easy to recognize. I'm surprised you haven't seen him yet. Honestly, I'm surprised I haven't seen him yet.
When's the last time you happened to see him?
Well, actually, he took a room yesterday. I expect he'll be down any time now. And actually, yeah. He points off to the stairs, which in here, that's coming down right here. It's a circular set of stairs. Yep. Guy comes out and he looks just like what you picture from the tapestry.
Good job, on the tapestry.
Whoever did it.
Ugly's easy.
Yeah, ugly's easy. Oh, yeah. This guy, the nose is horribly bent. Eyes don't look like they're even.
Got like walleye vision going on.
He's one eye looks like it's just a little bit raised. He's got a very pronounced forehead. The balding, early male pattern baldness, definitely hit early. This guy's probably only 20, 25, and he has a crow's nest. What hair he has remaining is thin and wispy and brown.
He's seen some things.
Yeah.
For his young age.
He has a heavy overbite. And there's a scar that runs across his chin all the way down to his shoulder.
Does he look hungover, or screwy, or?
Doesn't look like he started his drinking. It looks like he might be starting it now. He's walking towards the bar.
I'm going to approach and greet him. Be let's see.
Right.
Evening, right?
It's early afternoon.
Early. Okay.
Yeah.
So, afternoon, sir. Can I have just a moment with you? Got a couple things I'd like to bring up with you. My name is Mardog, and I used to adventure, I
He
believe.
walks right past you. Goes up to the bar. Do it. 2 rounds.
Do I see this?
You saw the exchange. He just walks right by you, ignores you as much as possible. He made eye contact for just a second, just long enough for you to know, I know you're there. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. I'll go ahead and mention to the bartender just a little bit past him. Hey, make sure, I've got all that covered for him. Whatever you want, I've got your bill.
I'm gonna be keeping an eye on him from over by the stage. Yeah, he looks like he's in some risky. But of course, I shall just hang out for a minute.
Couple bourbon. All right, you're over at the stage. You were chatting with the entertainers, the other bards.
Yep.
Starting off with you. Well, where you just walked over. What are you doing with them?
I'm gonna say I appreciate their artistry, and we should hook up sometime and make a go at it. Whenever I do say that, I will look at the mage and make sure everything's okay.
This is prior to
Yeah.
what's his name coming down.
Okay. And like I said, I'll talk him into me not playing, of course, but I said if I ever need some help finding a guy, see, I've seen him, but I don't see him clear. I see the pig guy, the guy we're looking for. I'm just gonna say, do you know a guy that looks like this?
Oh, okay.
Do you?
Yeah, he comes here regularly.
Okay, what's his name?
Gustav.
Gustav. Okay then.
That's what everybody knows him as.
And this is him. I pull out the tapestry and do you know any of those people?
The nose is a little bit wrong, but yeah, I recognize him.
I'll roll it back up. Okay.
And the human wizard, the female. Hey, we've seen her here before too.
Okay.
That's been probably about 6 months ago.
About 6 months ago, she walked through that door.
Oh yeah. We've been regulars here. We helped with the rebuilding, and so we have been kind of the house band.
Right.
We're here at the end of each run of the month. Usually the end of each run of the month. So
you're
2 days.
almost exact pattern. I'm the exact opposite of you.
You're towards the beginning.
Yeah,
of the
I'm
runs.
towards the beginning. That's why I've never seen you guys.
Yeah, we try to maintain a decent presence in town, aside from just here. We also hang out over at the Teshford Arms. We tend to get a little bit better pay over there.
Right.
But we like the company here better.
Yeah. Okay, I understand that. I kind of feel the same. It makes me want to break down in song, but I won't. And I laugh at them, kind of giggle, because they're the ones that were on.
And they will join you in the laughter, and that's the point when you see Gustav come down the stairs and
Okay, and I see
brush
him
past him.
blow him basically off.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. And you guys at the table obviously saw the exchanges. It was like, huh. After he orders the 2 bourbons, sit down.
So,
Bar stools. What do you want to know?
I have some concerns. What was the victim's name again?
Go
Go on. I was brought in to, with my compatriots here, to help investigate Govar's passing.
What?
He was murdered within the last day.
Takes a shot, slams it down. Do we know who did it?
We are fairly confident, and that's why we came looking for you. We believe you and the rest of your party that helped Mr. Morn are all in danger and targeted by this person. So we were looking to gather everyone together so that we could neutralize this issue.
If by neutralize you mean kill her finally, I think am good with this.
That's generally the idea. If you'd be interested, we have a table set up over here. I've got plenty of food and drink, and we can go over what information we have.
Takes the other shot, slams it back down, grabs his two pints of ale, and lead the way.
Alright. So I'll bring him over to the table.
And I'll go back to the table, realizing that
Yeah.
he's found someone. So, do I recognize him when I'm playing here?
You've seen him before.
Okay.
He is one of those guys who never really interacts with anyone.
All right,
This
right.
is probably the most you've seen him speak to anyone other than I need a beer or I need some food.
Right. Okay.
Oddly enough, he spends a lot of time in the book section.
Imagine that. Okay.
Would I have remembered or noticed that since my character kind of.
You probably would have noticed him, and considering how ugly he is, he stands out.
Yeah.
Most of the time, he has a hood over the majority of his head, and it covers up the scar a little bit, and he will drape things so that you can't necessarily see his face in full view most of the time.
When we get to the table, I'm just going to give him the same rundown that we gave the rest of the group on the information we've collected so far. And so that way he understands kind of exactly where we're at with everything. Then I'll add in, I've already sent messengers to try to get a hold of Randall and let him know the situation and what's going on. I believe we know the location where the rest of your party is located at, and we're looking to go round them up. And we were hoping that you would join us so we can get everyone in one location. And
You wanting to get everyone in one location. Are you sure that's really a good idea?
I think our chances would be best if we were together to fight this adversary. And if we're not spread out, that means she's going to be coming to one place and we're going to know where that's at.
Then we can bait a trap.
We don't even have to really bait a trap. They kicked her butt once before. They can do it again. And with us there, I think our chances are good. And I'll flip a coin. Yep, I'd say chances are good.
Have they fought this adversary before, or did they just release her from the sword? Is that what was I understanding? that
Whatever it
correctly?
is, the brave compatriots just kicked her out. This is what I heard.
Right. So they haven't actually.
They haven't actually fought
this thing.
this thing, yeah.
And it appears that she's amassed some sort of spider army.
Maybe.
Also, I would just say, if you were at least able to come with us, when we, even if the others don't wish to join with us, it would probably go a long way to smoothing over introductions if we had somebody they already knew with us and could give
Reference?
Peace of mind.
no, confirm our story.
Show me not lying.
Give us some validity in what we're saying.
Yeah.
Lend credence to the tale.
cred.
Yep. Street cred all the way.
So, you've got me. We're going to try to round up everybody else that's still alive.
Yep.
Of the 5 of us that remain, well, 4 of us that remain. There were more.
Well,
It wasn't just 5 of us that left in order to bring Brandleborn back. There were 8 of us.
Oh.
we've only been
Told about
What
five.
happened to the other 3?
thieves.
Well, 2 of them died in the Spiderhawk woods.
Okay. Still collaborates.
We
our
know we
story.
never fully heard the story of how you found Randall or where you found him. Could you tell us this tale?
So, we were given information by Leo that Randall Bourne and a party of his renegades had gone into the Spider Haunt Woods because they had information that pointed to the Sword of the Dales having been located there. It was sort of a race to the finish line in order to make certain that Randall ended up with it rather than Constable Tren or someone else.
Okay.
We went. There were definitely some of the standard fights that you would expect over the road. We had orcs with Zentish armaments. We had giant spiders, hence the name Spider Hauntwood. And then there was the other things, the web lurkers. Nasty purple and gray and brown things. That's how we lost Fabris and Cairo. The poison is not particularly fast, but it is lethal.
No anti-venom to it.
We didn't have any. If there was anti-venom available, that would have been wonderful, but we didn't know what we were walking into with regards to that. And we didn't have enough supplies in that nature. There weren't that many clerics, and what clerics were there didn't have any sort of poison neutralizing spells memorized.
Would cure disease count as that?
No.
Good to know.
Neutralize-
Good to know.
it's a
Neutralize
Neutralize poison.
Okay.
Yep, it's a straight
I need to
poison.
figure out what level of spell that is.
3. Anyway. I think it's 3.
No, I'm pretty charismatic. Someone asked him, you guys went into a place called the Spider Haunt Woods, named for spiders without any poison antidotes?
I didn't say that he was the brightest fellow.
Well, I'm asking him as a question.
Okay,
Because I'm a...
with us, we hadn't ever encountered spiders that were that venomous. That particular level of toxicity wasn't something that we were expecting. We were expecting the typical large spiders that you just cut with an axe and call it good. There are definitely a wide variety of the spiders that are available in the Spider Haunt Wood. Most of them have been, actually a fair number of the ones large enough to be ridden by goblins are. They're trained as mounts. And those, the poison isn't as toxic. Still sucks. I got bit by one, and I was puking for 3 days, but didn't kill me. We expected more of the same. The venom coming from these things, they aren't spiders themselves. They're some weird hybrid thing. A man spider.
Are these magically created, these web lurkers? Are they?
I don't know how they were created. I just know that they're a bastard to fight.
And then we believe that is what
What do
your
you call it?
compatriot fought last night.
So they
Or
came
yesterday.
out of the woods.
It's
According
rare.
to the witness, it was 8 to 10 of them.
They attacked him in his estate.
And some sort of a flying lizard thing.
Okay, that's weird. And what does the flying lizard thing have to do with the web lurkers?
Jonah.
Maybe he's the boss, or that's the boss, or
My curiosity
Well,
with
what?
this, and eventually as we're on the road, I would like to hear more of your adventures. But I believe the spirit is potentially going around to places or things that you encountered while you were finding Randall, and as perhaps forming a pact with them in order to extract revenge. But I don't have enough information on what you guys had done to really piece that together.
Well, while we were in the Spider Haunt Woods, there was a clearing that had a freshwater spring and a shrine.
I don't remember what the shrine was to.
Lady Luck.
tomorrow. Nothing to me going wrong with it tomorrow.
Unless you flip wrong.
You always take your chance.
So, as we were there, we were approached by a spirit that seemed beneficial and was giving us advice and seemed to be steering us away from any danger and helped us to get to a tower deep in the Spider Haunt Woods.
Okay.
That's where we met up with Zentish forces.
Then they'll keep here.
They had several riders, 1 or 2 wizards, and some priests of some sort.
Were
Well,
they?
the spirits.
No,
Oh no, you.
no. Fine.
The spirit was encouraging us to go into the tower and find some skulls in the tower down in the lower chambers, because she claimed that if we made contact with the skull and we said a specific incantation, it would help to free some servants that she would be able to utilize. It would bring them back to life, and they would be able to help Randall Morn take his rightful place on the throne. We didn't necessarily trust that once we got downstairs, and it was definitely a race. The Zents weren't interested in fighting so much as they were interested in getting down to the lower levels to try to find the sword. There was a little bit of skirmishing as we got close enough, but they ended up maintaining a lead, and they made it to the skulls first. I'm glad that they did.
Did the spirit happen to identify itself?
Yes, she went by the name Gothel.
That's the spirit that came after your friend.
Yeah, I figured. It was at the point when the Zents got possessed by whatever was in the skulls that we realized that she was not actually helping us. She was helping herself.
No.
And she was intending to possess Randall Bourne and use him as a puppet in order for her to dominate the region.
Okay.
Yep.
So, we ended up bringing the sword back. There was some fighting. There were a couple moments of unconsciousness. Some of that was self-induced, some not. And then the battles broke out with the Zents sending the forces down with the orcs to try to invade Daggerdale, because, well, they weren't able to get the Sword of the Dales, and they knew that if they didn't do something else, then Randall Morn would be instated as the rightful ruler of Daggerdale and become a Dale Lord. It was after those fights, those encounters, that Elminster lent a hand. Randall Morn was placed back on his rightful seat, and Elminster took possession of the sword for, I believe it was close to 3 months, because of what we had done in order to help Randall and the region. Offers of land were made, and some of my friends made use of those offers. I have a section of land, but I never go to it. Instead, I have people who work it and send monies to me.
Basically sharecropping land.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Those clerics that you mentioned that the others had, do you remember what kind of garb they wore or sigils?
I believe it was the Maiden of Pain. So, the holy symbol, if you can call it that, is a whip or a scourge. Cat of 9 tails, that sort of thing. like using those?
Well, I would like to make use of what little sunlight we have left and see if we can get up to Nori's tower and maybe stay there for nightfall and make sure that they're at least safe and are aware of what's going on. Do you have any equipment, gear, or items that you would like to obtain before we take off?
You hear a scream as someone bursts through the door, covered in hundreds of small purple and black spiders.
It's always got to be spiders with you.
Those rats.
He pushes through the door, obviously trying to get away from the spiders. And
Now, are these normal sized spiders, or these are?
they are normal sized spiders,
But they're just all over.
but there's hundreds
Oh
of
yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah. I got
all
you. I
over
got
them.
you. Just want to make sure I'm understanding.
Yes, it isn't giant spiders. They're not to scale there because the
Yeah.
a whole lot of itty bitty bitty.
He's just covered in.
He is just covered in spiders, and there's more coming. It appears that there is a swarm of purple and black spiders that are pouring in and bobbing and weaving through the hay and the crap on the floor, and are starting to spread through the establishment, coming in through the front door and under the door and through the wall and any cracks that are available.
They're just
They're just
invading the city.
invading the tavern.
Is there another doorway to exit this place other than that one?
It's the back door by the bar.
Yeah, you are aware that there is a back door.
Um,
However, we do have at least one person here who is covered in spiders and is rushing in, and it is initiative at this point.
Right.
We'll deal with that anything above and beyond that afterwards. So, for those of you who are not familiar with second edition, the initiative system is based off of a D10 instead of a D20. So go ahead and roll, and you like the high numbers. Okay. And story, I take that.
10.
You got a 10? Yeah. Let's see. Halak, 6. Lorpine, 2. Marduk,
9.
Jinserin,
9.
9. Drax, 2.
Yay!
You're not very in tough territory.
Do Jackson I need a reroll, or is it Dex?
It's a reroll.
Reroll.
4.
6.
And we need the same between Marduk and Jinserin.
7.
4.
And question before we fully get into combat.
Mm-hmm.
Upon seeing the spiders burst in, would I have been able to reach over and cast Sanctuary on the new fighter friend?
No, that'd be after your initiative.
I wanted to clarify that.
Yes. However, we do also have Cycle, who is right there with you, and his buddy. They're also going to roll into the initiative.
Are those the band guys?
Huh?
The band guys?
No, your cousin.
Your-
And-
Oh,
and
okay,
Your cousin and his aide.
Okay.
I
gotcha.
forgot that they were listening into our entire conversation.
So, right off the bat then, we have Story Brightblade.
I'm here.
Yep, that's you.
Well, I'm gonna hop on top of the table, get away from any spiders on the floor.
Okay?
Oh, am I not at the table?
You should
I
be.
wonder
I
you
thought you were.
just want to shoot. Oh,
That's her.
I'm sorry. Is this? That's
That's him.
yeah,
Okay, he should be at the table.
that's Dale.
That's Dale.
Ah, there you go.
And everyone's at the table
Everybody's
now.
at
Okay.
everybody's at the table.
Okay.
I'm just trying to see where everyone is. Okay, so I'm right next to our bard.
Yes.
And you could. Okay.
This aid actually. but
Why do
yes.
I have to be our bard? You're right by our bard.
You like
The
our
bard.
bard.
You know how off-putting that is. It's
You
a
like
bard.
you know it.
I like any challenge.
Okay. Just
And
trying
it
to
looks
figure out
like one
how
is
close-
following us.
Just trying to figure out how close the spiders are to the day. So, okay.
So, story.
But I think it's
It's about the most I can do and get my crossbow ready. And kind of keep an eye on anything else coming through the doorway, because that's where he came running in from. I'm expecting something more than just swarms. Something must have summoned.
Okay. Okay. So, hopping up and then holding with shot or the crossbow out. Okay. And we will be rolling every round, future reference. Okay.
So you can always move up in initiative.
Gustav is up next.
Okay.
And he takes and pulls his battle axe, looks at it, looks at the spiders that are ahead of him, leaps over and goes to smack using the flat of the blade, attacking straight down to squish as many of them as he can.
Good idea.
Stone's fire.
Let's see.
He's using fire. Everything's flammable.
The floor is covered in hay.
Armor class.
Oh.
Could be vomited and dried up, but it's yeah.
Yes.
Okay, never
And
mind.
then it's covered in hay. And the
I thought
upper
it was
level,
stone floor. That's fine.
it's stone floor, but the ceiling above you is wood, and
Okay.
everything from above is made out of wood.
Okay. Never mind.
lower construction for
I mean, that's not going to bother me. I can use fire all day, but other people might get uncomfortable.
Well, this is how it was brought down before. Was fire.
Yeah. You'd rather not rebuild it again.
Okay. And yep. He ends up squishing easily close to 40 of the spiders. They
Small spider, yeah.
small
They're
spiders
swarming.
splah, leaves a swathe of squished guts all over the hay, starts scrubbing it around, and we are then on to Marduk.
Okay, so he's about 2 squares away from the front door.
Yes.
Needs to cantrip.
So
Spray.
at the front door there, at the entranceway, I'm going to cast
Yes,
Summon
yes.
Swarm.
Oh, yeah.
Bug spray.
Cast Summon Swarm.
Yeah. That way the swarm is covering the entirety of the entryway.
So, countering a swarm with a swarm.
Yes.
I debated on that too, but I didn't write that for the day.
Okay.
That's what I was planning on doing, so that's hilarious.
All right.
All three of us gonna do that.
So I'm going to put the Summon Swarm in the entranceway, and that's going to be...
What kind of swarm are you summoning? You get to pick, or is it just
It's
a
a
random?
random.
It's a random.
It's a percentile.
It's on page
Bats and some of these
214.
spiders.
It's on page
Must make more
214.
It's
sense.
bats.
Read more spiders.
That's love
It'd
spiders.
be like a,
Spiders
it'd be
get
a
along with the other
contest
spiders.
of will or something like that. The spiders that were already summoned are now
Did you
Yeah.
hear what page?
re-summoned by
either.
you.
Okay, I was
Get
confused.
there, take over the humans!
Yeah, birds eat spiders. Or not birds. Bats eat
14.
spiders.
It's
Fire.
a second level wizard spell.
Bark.
It's
Oh.
on page 146. Yeah.
Kill all humans!
I've got it right here too.
I have summon insects as a 214 cleric spell.
For the clerical version,
Yeah,
as the
the
wizard version.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a potential for it being slightly different.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
You're fine. All right, so you rolled
A 62.
62, so you get the bats. Because yours is summon swarm, and it's not specifically like
Yes.
insects
No.
necessarily.
Yeah.
It's just a swarm.
70% flying,
Grouping of
30%
something.
crawling.
Yep. Whereas his, he has a separate chart.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yeah, it's just a swarm of small animals.
Yep. The rats, bats, spiders, centipedes, or flying insects is what he gets.
Ah.
You have an insect swarm as a primary. You have a flyer or a crawler. Depends on exactly what you roll. That's why it.
Yeah. Anything trying to exit the swarm takes 1d4. Anything actively defending inside the swarm only takes 1 point.
Okay, and you create a 10-foot cube. Okay. Interesting. And they end up doing battle.
Bats. Oh,
Bats.
battle bats.
Battle bats versus spiders, because they're swarming all over each other. Have you ever seen images of swarms of insects as they live in the fecal matter of the bats in caves, and then a bat falls into it and is swarmed and eaten? Basically, you got this. They're trying to eat each other.
When I cast this, I'm also going to be shouting as loud as I can for everyone to evacuate out of the back.
Okay. Your bats last all of 1 round. On the plus side, you have eliminated that same section of spiders. However, there are more pouring in. The swarm is much larger than what you were able to produce in the form of bats that swarmed in and ate and were eaten in the process. But that roughly took care of a third of the spiders that were there.
Okay.
Okay. That was fun.
That was fun.
All right. That
Wouldn't it
brings
have
us.
been great if I would have got spiders?
If you'd gotten spiders, I would have had them make a saving throw to see if they were the swarm that you would have taken. All
No
right.
advantage.
Oh, just
So
say
it would
that
have been
over
even.
Right?
here. Good, but it's contest of wills.
Yeah. Jinsarin?
I'm going to start sprinting towards that back door.
I'm running. Okay. And he can go 12 spaces.
Right here.
Yeah. There you go. Says, oh, I'm out. Screw this.
I don't know these guys
More
well
of
enough.
no, it's more of a if something's coming through that door. Who's to say there's not something back at the back door trying to push everything that way?
Right. There's a
I'm not
possibility.
telling you guys that. I'm just doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's my thought process.
We're expecting you to be like following what he just said
Right.
because
Right.
he just shouted that.
And now it's the spiders initiative.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Okay, he is doing absolutely nothing but swatting at the spiders at this point, so he only takes 1 hit point of damage. But he doesn't have a whole lot because he's an NPC. And the swarm moves forward.
Are they moving off of him, or are they
Nope.
like up and over?
There's more that are pouring in through the open door.
Okay.
We have a swarm that covers that area that is presently, and then there's a little bit more outside the door.
Okay.
That is the area that is encompassed by the spiders that remain.
What time is it?
Real world or in game?
In game.
In game, it's probably about 1 in the afternoon, 1 to 2. We'll say 1:50.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and in the process, since he isn't actively doing nothing but defending himself, he's going to take 1d4 plus 1 hit points. Pardon me, no, not plus 1. Plus 4. So he takes 7 hit points of damage. is all that the spiders are able to do at this point. That brings us then to Locke.
Well, where am I at compared to everybody?
You're right next to me.
I'm right next to you.
You're at the end of the table.
I will whip out my guitar.
El Kabong!
Yeah, and treat everybody while we're fighting to rousing riff of music that inspires. Yep.
Music
That's what I'm.
stomps spiders by.
That's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm going to.
High tempo!
Right. Yep, I will. That's what I'll do. I'll sing the story of how Mr. freed the lady.
Okay.
Because I'm from Shadowdale. I know Zach.
You know Zach, however, you didn't know the story because you failed that roll. Anyway.
But it's one of those things.
Right. Okay, so you're doing the inspirational
Yes.
performance.
I'm going to do the inspirational, outstanding performance that drives fear into the enemy. And it just.
Okay, he's creating with his music, poetry, and stories of the bard. Well, he gets a +1 bonus to everybody that's a member of the group within hearing distance. +2 on morale rolls in large battles. So, which one are you granting? +1 bonus to attack rolls or +1 bonus to saving throws?
To attack rolls.
Alright. Because it's one or the other.
Yeah.
So,
It's
alright.
not to be both.
So, while he continues to play until the next round, everybody gets +1 to attack if you do any attack rolls. Alright. That brings us then to Lorafine.
See, it may not have been right, but it was the story.
Right. I'm ad-libbing here.
There's only a couple people that can prove me wrong.
Right. Doesn't have to be the accurate story. It's just a good story. It's just a good story.
So Lorafine is gonna run. She's gonna equip her warhammer.
Huh?
She's gonna pull out her warhammer, run over and cast Sanctuary on him.
Okay.
Which Sanctuary will make it so any opponent attempting to strike protected creature must roll a save versus spells. Otherwise, it's on page 202.
Yeah. Make a saving throw versus spells in order to be able to attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hoping to minimize how much he gets hurt.
Right?
And then if after running and doing the spell, if she's able to, she would like to attack with her warhammer.
Okay. It's cast a spell or attack. It's not
Okay.
both.
I can't remember. So,
Second edition, you have just the one action. You don't have
So-
all the extra bonus actions like in third and fifth. And
so
supposedly
she's
fourth, I would
casting.
imagine.
She's casting Sanctuary this round,
Okay, so
and
you're
being
casting.
on guard to defend herself.
Okay. Just double checking to see whether or not. Alright, if you do this, as soon as he attacks, the spell is broken.
Oh.
So, he has to know that he needs to not attack in order to save himself. You can say something. You can tell him.
I'm blessing you with Sanctuary. Run.
Do not attack them.
Don't attack.
As he's walking and crushing spiders, is that considered an attack?
No.
That's all.
I'm not trying to kill you. I'm not trying to kill you. Sorry.
Right?
No, that would be the Canadian insult.
I just,
Sorry.
Right. That'd be a quirk of yours, you know, saying I'm sorry for everything you killed.
Right?
Hopefully my words got through to him.
Right. There is.
We don't know his intelligence, but he is reading a book, so that does say something.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
But again,
I think you can.
no one knows
spiders.
he was actually holding it upside down and just actually pretending like he was reading something.
Right?
Yeah.
It's the nearest thing you could find to smash spiders as they began to swarm on him.
Okay.
I like the quick side note of they don't have many hit points.
He may have been the one that summoned the spiders with his book.
Yeah.
He's an agent of the web lurkers.
So what you do, you run over there, you grab the little dwarf that has it covered,
wrong?
and you just start beating the hell out of everything else.
Hey, you can do that. Let's do it. Who's big?
Not me.
Oh, crap.
Hobble. He might.
Yeah, but we're trying to keep him alive.
He's
If
using
he
the dwarf
attacks
to
with
do
the
that.
dwarf, then he's gonna lose the sanctuary.
He doesn't know that.
We don't know
I'm
if he
not
knows that,
attacking.
and I
The
just
dwarf
said-
is attacking. I am just holding the
Utilizing
dwarf.
the dwarf as a means to attack.
Right.
The dwarf still apologized.
Wow.
It's not the dwarf's intent to attack the spiders.
Oh,
He's just
I
along
guess
for
you
the
should
ride.
move me to.
Yes.
Yep, 2 more people to use as
There we
a
go.
hammer.
You want to move him?
Yes.
Where?
He's going to jump up on the table like you did, and then he's going to get across the two. He isn't planning on staying up there. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he hops down off of the table right here so that he can attack at the spiders right here next to the table that are getting really close to where Drax is at. So, making an attack roll, and he definitely hits. He is using his dwarven battle axe.
So you're doing the same flat thing? As
Yeah, he's doing the same class so that he can maximize the number that he hits. And in the process, he ends up killing
You can use one.
9.
I killed one, but it's very dead.
He kills a whole 9 spiders.
Oh,
Right
good.
now, the
It's
only
still
thing that's
something.
bookmarked is,
Well, grand total, the beginning of this total would have been something around 350,000 spiders. Now, a third of them have been killed already.
Because of the cauldron of bats. It's a group of bats called a cauldron.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know that.
So 1/3. So you're down to only 2,200 and
We killed 9 and the other guy killed like, what, 40 you said? Something like that?
yeah, somewhere close to 40. You're guessing. So 2,200, or pardon me, 225,000 instead of
I was gonna say,
350,000.
wait a minute.
Yeah, 225,000. Yeah, sorry, I'll wait. Yeah, 225,000 remain, minus the 49 or so that have also been killed.
Huge dead.
Yeah, and I believe that actually brings us in
To me.
to you.
So I have a question.
Yes, sir.
If I was to do Summon Swarm, would the monsters that or the creatures that I summon, would they know not to attack the bats, or
The bats are
do
dead.
they only-
Bats are all dead.
Yeah, the bats are all dead.
They've neutralized.
Okay.
They immolated each other.
And I cast
Summon Swarm.
Summon Swarm.
You guys are killing me.
Wizard version as well. All right, go ahead and roll percentile.
I got the chart right here.
All right.
There's a roof's close by.
Oh,
There's just a
shnikes,
roof's
yeah.
close.
By the power of Ozzy.
Yeah, that too. Once
Hey,
again,
so
I'm
you're
sorry
doing
for
Crazy
the
Train now.
What?
He's playing Crazy
Train.
Train now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm playing it. I'm just. I love this, and I love this, and love you. I'm gonna kick that dude's butt or the spider's butt. And,
Maybe 7-4, like a backcountry song.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
We can't stop here. This is backcountry.
Right.
Loading.
Where exactly would you like to place the swarm?
On the doorway as well.
Well, you can cover a 10 foot by 10 foot area. Right now you have a 10 foot by 20 foot area that's covered by the spiders, plus an additional 5 foot area outside that hasn't made it in yet. So from here to here is where the spiders are swarming at the present. You could knock out essentially 4 squares here, 4 squares here, or 3 squares here, and that would cover the entrance.
We'll do the 4 and 4.
The 4 here in front?
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, in the process of killing each other, you have dropped the swarm down to that. All right. I was honestly expecting something fire from you. Okay, I really was.
I'm trying to be smart,
Right?
and the combat's not over. I just used my, only
Right,
non-fire
right.
spells.
Yeah. I mean, we do appreciate it. Don't.
Your character is a pyro.
Right? Nossing goes up. And he pulls out a warhammer. Yeah, that'll do it. He squishes himself a good almost 40 as well. And we are then around to new round of initiative. So, everybody rolling a 10-sider. Let's see.
Reaction adjustments for your initiative, correct?
Right.
Should be. For your dex, if you have a high dex.
Yeah, should be.
First with an edge.
Yeah.
To that.
Yeah. You add your
Reaction adjustment.
reaction adjustment to your.
+1.
You got a +1. I got a +2.
Yeah, I totally forgot to mention adding that for the people who haven't played this version before.
I don't have that written down. What is
It's under your dexterity up at the top. What's your dex?
Plus right there. 11.
11?
have
You don't
one.
have one.
You won't have one here.
Because it would be.
You might even
Right.
cost you some.
You need to have a 16 or higher in order to have a reaction adjustment bonus.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and I hit the line
Yours-
exactly, so
Your dex is a little lower than mine. So.
I got
Yeah, makes sense.
-2 on the.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We'll start over here. Marduk, what's your niche?
7.
Okay. Morphine.
Lorfine got 15. Uh-huh.
15 out of a 10-sided.
On a 10-sided die, you
I
roll
thought
it.
it was a 20.
I said it at the beginning of the die.
I'll reroll.
I was gonna.
You said 15. I was like,
What? You still used to doing the 5th edition stuff?
Paints everything.
I think I got a 10.
If it was a 0, you got a
If
10.
you got a 0, you got a
Yes.
10. Yes. Okay. There we go. Let's see.
6.
6 for Luck. Snorri.
Got a 4.
4.
You have +2 on yours too?
Yeah.
And Drax. 3. Sincerity.
Yeah, that's another thing that saves my butt from being last out, you know.
A Drax roll again. And I think that's all of the initiative there. Yep. Alright, so we're starting with 10.8.
Build time.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the sevens. Marduk and Sincerity.
Did the bards on stage join in with his song by any odd chance? Because the same thing.
This one I think is actually.
They didn't do anything. They were just there on stage.
They're just on stage. They were drinking. They haven't even noticed the spiders.
Oh.
They just noticed the beginning of a commotion, so they're starting to put their beers down this round.
Fair enough.
Right.
Just ask.
Yeah.
You got a 4.
It's
got a 3.
what bars are you?
Amen.
We are
Amen.
entertainers.
I could definitely see an El Capone if they actually had a guitar. No.
Right.
We've got 10.8 with Cycle Brightblade. And he is going to attack, and he hits the spiders again. And, oh my. Alright. So every time you get a hit, every hit point that you do is D20 spiders that you kill.
Oh, okay.
He just clobbered the crap out of the pile of spiders and took out about 70 of them.
Ooh, nice.
Who was this one?
Your cousin.
Nice.
Someone we should respect.
Let's see. That takes care of Sickle. That brings us then to Lorafine.
Loraphine's now smacking at spiders with her warhammer.
Okay. Make an attack roll on your D20.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Do I have a bonus?
Just kind of sift through them.
I don't
See.
have a bonus.
Now,
That one looks fun.
the inspiration was
So it's +1 to hit, so you got a 5.
Yeah.
Five.
And you have a THACO of
18.
18.
I'm going to get here.
So, 18 minus 8. You would have needed a minimum of 9.
And now I roll in that 20 when I just throw on them thing.
But yeah, of course.
That's how it works.
Alright. That brings us to Marduk.
What can I see outside of the door?
Let's see, where are you?
I'm
You
behind.
actually do have a pretty straight line of sight.
Yeah.
There is standing in the road outside of the tavern a purple thing with huge mandibles, long lanky arms, and it is contorting its arms in a fashion that indicates that it is using some sort of spellcraft.
I'm going to. What's around it as far as like the environment? Is it just standing out on like the dirt road, or?
Well, considering it's summer, it's actually reasonably covered in grass. It's not a dirt road per se right here. There's definitely patches that are worn, and it's just dirt there.
It's just like
but-
walkway areas, though.
Yeah, it's walkway areas, and there's still plenty of grass out there.
I'm going to move forward up to
Not him, that one.
what's his nuts with the axe.
Okay.
Just behind him, and I'm going to summon my flaming sphere at the feller out there.
Okay.
And that's going to be 2d4 damage on contact.
Alright. And was there a save on that one?
No, saving throw negative.
Okay. Wait, saving throw negative or negates?
NEG.
I think it's
So is that-
negative, isn't it?
that's negative.
Well,
And
neg
IG would be
as opposed to none.
Right, okay.
So, saving throw, let's see, that was...
Even if there's a saving throw, you still take heat damage, I believe, though.
it's a ball of fire. That's his
It's all the fire that he'll be moving around.
Basically, I have like a 3-foot ball of fire that I can roll around, and anything it
It just
touches.
points and it follows the direction.
A successful saving throw negates all damage.
Let's see.
I'm looking at the spell right now. Page
Right.
141. Those within 5 feet of the sphere's surface must also make the save or suffer 1d4 points of heat damage. So, every round that he's around it, he has to make a saving throw in order to avoid taking damage. If he takes damage, he takes the 2d4.
Right. And it has the potential to be set on fire.
He does not seem to be affected by it at the moment.
Okay.
and it is actually sitting on top of him, not in front of him.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, just
Yeah. You dropped a big slab of something in front of me.
ball of red. Yes, because he casts the spell on a regular basis.
I heard spear, not sphere. That's
Yes.
where I was confused. I'm like, okay, I guess that's
Gotcha.
what that is.
Okay. Flaming spear. That doesn't seem right.
Dude,
All right.
seems a little unnecessary. Kind of excessive.
I'm also going to make that the announcement to be wary of venom, because these are pretty much the same spiders I encountered outside of the house, right?
Yes.
And I watched them kill the little
Yes.
thingy-majigger. So, just a short couple word warning of, hey, poison's bad, guys.
Okay. Dinsarin, you're up next.
Oh, right at the door.
Now, the question is, do you actually see them? Roll a 6-sided die for me.
5.
Okay. You are not surprised by them.
Okay.
So, you do actually see them there.
The expectation was that something would be back there.
Yeah. Yep, you rush back there, open up the door real quick, take a look, and look, yeah, there's 2 of them.
Yeah. I'd say, yeah, back door's a bad idea. No back door. There's 2 back here.
Okay.
Do you close it or do you leave it open?
Well, you opened it in order to see.
Yeah.
Lock.
Yes.
What you doing? Continuing to play?
Continuing the song.
Everybody
I
within
picked
earshot?
up the tempo of it, and I'm looking for people that I can, help myself to their. Because everyone is. That's exactly what I'm doing. Looking around and seeing if people are reacting, how people are reacting.
But obviously, everybody that's a standard patron in the bar, vast majority of them like, no.
Right.
That's all bad. And it was heading towards the back door or towards the kitchen area / bartender area. I'm pretty sure that they're thinking about pouring out alcohol as a way of repelling the insects.
Well, that's good.
The kegs.
Yo. God save the kegs.
Alright, that takes care of you. That brings us then to... Oh, Snorri. Did you roll a second time?
No, you didn't tell me.
I'm sorry. Go ahead and roll a second time.
You got a 0. You got 10.
You got a 10. Alright, you're up.
All right.
And you don't have a clear line of sight on the feller.
It's never stopped me before.
I understand that.
You're gonna ricochet off the door frame.
I still don't know that that's out there. I know he's threw a fireball out there, so that tells me something's out
You saw him cast a spell,
there. Yeah.
and you heard outside.
Yeah.
And you're familiar enough with him that you know it's a fireball.
Well, not a fireball. Well, ball of fire. Slightly different. Minor pedantic issue.
Yeah. You know he did fire.
Crossing
there.
over here.
Mm-hmm.
Just going to poop.
Oh.
So you can bring your ladder to get up on the table.
As I'm crossing, can I see out that way? Or is there enough chaos that I can't still see? Not if I don't, I don't.
You can only move 6 spaces, and if you move and shoot, you are at a penalty, as in you'd only get 1 shot, but you would be able to take a shot, and his bonus is going to eliminate the penalty on your shot.
We're gonna shoot.
Okay. You get a single shot instead of the normal 2 because you're not being stationary.
6. But my THACO is 10.
Okay. Your tackle is 10.
With my crossbow.
Okay. So that means. Oh, what is his armor class?
Yeah. He made it.
Yeah, you hit.
He glanced it off the door frame,
Yeah.
off the stage.
1d6
yeah.
plus 3. Going good. Oh. 5 plus 3, 7.
8.
8.
8. All right.
Math isn't a strong
That's,
thing
this
for
is,
you, right?
no, it's not. I don't know if that disrupts his spell. I don't know if that does anything to the swarm or not. He's got an arrow in him now. And I know he's out there.
Okay. You hit him, and no, the spiders don't dissipate or anything like that. But you definitely hit it. It thunks, and you hear something unearthly and hissy, and it does not sound pleasant at all.
Good.
Have you ever heard a rabbit scream?
Oh yeah, that's nasty.
Oh yeah, it kind of reminds you of that.
Tarantula scream.
Yeah, amongst other horrible things.
The scream of tarantulas is also pretty terrible.
Okay.
You ever heard a tarantula scream?
I don't think I
I
have.
heard mine scream. Yeah, when my bow ate it.
Okay.
Yeah, it was one of those things. They didn't really get along.
The spiders do not make their saving throw against not attacking Gustav. The swarm, however, does go ahead and propel forward. And effectively, we have Dale, Lorifine, we've got Marduk, Lorifine, and your cousin are all now in the area of the swarm. And that's going to be 1d4 points of damage plus 3 to each person. So, of course. All right, Dale, 7 points of damage.
Of course.
Danny, 6 points of damage.
6.
And to Seiko Brightblade takes 7 as well.
Shit. Snakes.
Just a question,
Nike.
and you can answer that. Is this just another summon swarm spell?
It's not the same type of summon swarm spell. This seems to be more of, well, you'd have to roll to know exactly what it is. But normal summon swarm obviously isn't this big.
Right.
So you can parse out that without having any rolls.
Right.
Let's see. That brings us then to Gustav.
Going for the big guy.
7.
Well, you just walked out.
He ran out and is getting directly up against the sphere so that he can swing on the web lurker thing.
Did running out that way crush any as he was just randomly walking?
Not enough to be significant.
Definitely avoided it.
So how many is left now?
Swarm wise.
Over 118,000 spiders.
A little bit.
There's a little bit. Okay. Something
They're
to
two-thirds
note.
down. That's progress.
You are covered and distracted, so you're going to be incapable of casting spells while covered by spiders.
Mm-hmm.
Same for you. Okay, and he rolled a 9, and he is
Try to do the right thing by not setting the joint on fire. Now look where it got you.
Mm-hmm.
bit by a bunch of little spiders and you're incapacitated, so you can't use your magic.
Well, it would really just make the spiders be on fire, and then now look where we're at.
You ain't got that many hit points. It's a spider.
Yeah,
It's just
that's,
a little
yeah,
spider.
that's true.
Right on the dot. Okay. And
I'm sure they want to rebuild this place again.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of bats and spiders that have been stomped into the stone, I'm sure it'll take a while to
Clear it out.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to be burned out anyway. So.
so
hopefully the
much
stone's not
Control
porous.
burn. And the grass directly around the ball of flame has caught fire and is going to start spreading. Forgot about that.
So the wind picks it up 30 miles.
Gustav
Right.
has done
Right
his
in
thing.
the front door.
That brings us then to Genzarin. You haven't acted yet.
You
So I'm at the door. I see these guys.
had opened the door.
Right.
Or was it? Wait,
Yeah, I'd open the door.
yeah, you'd open the door.
Yeah.
When I went to erase this, it shifted. It should have been Drax. My bad. That makes more sense.
So I have a couple questions.
Yes, sir.
So, first question: since I've already done summon swarm once, can I do that again, or is it like a
Once you've
a
cast
game?
it, it's gone.
Okay.
Yes, you have to
One and
memorize it multiple times in order to be able to do it
Okay.
multiple times.
Gotcha. Okay. Second question: I can see said beastie.
I think
Yep,
direct
yeah.
line of sight.
You got a reasonable line of sight there.
I am going to cast magic missile
On him.
on beastie.
Okay. There's no saving throw on that one.
7,
Let's see. What level are you again?
5th.
Fifth.
It should be 3 die, 1d4 plus 1.
Yep.
So, what is it, 7, so 10.
10 points of damage. Okay. It obviously hurt. Yes. You see a spray of black and red and some sort of like tan color coming out of him.
Is any of it flammable?
It's made of wax.
Not specifically. That brings us to the citizens, who are
There's two at the bar. Someone ran out with him.
He just
Yeah,
yelled,
don't go
"Don't
that
go
way.
back."
yeah,
don't-
you
don't
yelled
go
that,
outside.
but he didn't pay any attention to it, and as he runs out, he is immediately caught in a web that you couldn't see, and is
See you now.
okay. Guy who was caught in the web has this one leap out and immediately slash at his stomach, bite into his neck, and you can hear excruciating pain scream, and he's screaming about it burning. It burns! It burns! And now he's hanging limp in the web.
Good poison. Poison bad.
Okay, she heard that. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Not doing it.
No. The fishmonger back here that was providing some of the fresh barrels of fish in order to dumps the fish out so that it has a barrier of squish and slime for whatever to crawl across now. So,
So slippery over there.
yeah, it's slippery now. We're just going to use that to represent the pile of dead fish.
Fish eater.
Yes, fish ichor. hear that too. They're all pulling up over here, and he has grabbed a barrel of pickles because it has heavy vinegar in the pickling, and is pouring that out in front of him in order to make certain that any spiders coming this way have to go through the vinegar. Most spiders don't care for the smell or texture of vinegar.
Fair enough.
And then that brings us finally to Nossig, who goes ahead and attacks the spiders. It's a good thing he's got a +1, because he would have missed it by 1 otherwise. Alright, and he's using his battle axe and squishing the crap out of spiders. He got somewhere in the vicinity of 50 spiders, you're guessing. Probably was actually more than that, but there's a lot going on. And that brings us to the next round of initiative. Alright. We are starting off with the 10.4 with Drax.
I'm going to cast Ray of Enfeeblement on Beastie.
Okay. That's not one that gets used all that often.
What does Ray of Enfeeblement do?
It enfeebles.
Right.
So it affects his strength attacks as well as his damage he takes. Obviously, he's not using strength attacks right now, so.
Saving throw will negate it.
Yeah, creatures suffer a penalty of -2 on attack rolls. They have a -1 penalty for each guy of damage they inflict.
And if it makes a saving throw, it is unaffected.
I take it yeah, it's affected.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, pretty sure that took effect.
He's enfeebled.
He's enfeebled.
He's enfeebled.
Wow.
Alright, so that takes care of you. Then we have Marduk.
I am dashing out to my flaming sphere.
Running. Okay, in that case, you take 1d4 plus 3 points of damage, so you take 5 points of damage.
I should be on top of my sphere.
That'll be effective for
Oh, you're on
for
top
5
of
rounds, Jimmy.
He's trying
You're
to burn the spiders
Into the
off
sphere.
him.
Yes, I am essentially roasting the spiders off of myself.
Your
Okay.
spear is on top of the guy.
Okay, once you run out of the swarm, they don't stay on you. They are staying collectively as a swarm.
Oh, okay.
So once you ran out, you get past them and you're running towards the ball of fire to get rid of everything else, and you realize, I don't need to go that far.
Gotcha. So I've got my action.
Mm-hmm.
What I got left?
Okay, and actually, while you're doing that, you've got that ball of flame still, making the saving throw. Go ahead and roll your damage for your sphere.
Yeah, it's what,
2d4.
And it's gonna be
4.
4.
He did. I say you, he did.
Spiders
Guys, go
moving.
away.
Spiders begin dissipating. By the end of the round, they will be fully gone. However, they are still going to be affecting anybody through the remainder of this round. But at the end of the round, they will be gone.
Is there any other baddies up front here that I see now that I'm out front?
Nothing that you're seeing.
Probably just turn around back at the doorway. That's just kind of, since I know everybody's inside and obviously I don't have line of sight on would I have any kind of sight on
Bless you.
the dude that got attacked by the web since the door's open? Like,
Oh,
would I
no,
have,
there's way too much stuff in the way.
Okay.
This is actually
Pillars.
wall areas,
okay, I just want
So
to
it's
check.
a wall or
wall
Yeah,
area.
it's a wall area, yeah.
Yeah, there's This portion right here is.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean,
Yeah.
what are those bookcases?
These are actually support pillars.
Well, I know, but what's the things in front of the door that I'm standing
Discs.
These
That's the
behind?
bar.
Yes, those things.
these are that's the wall area.
Oh, okay.
That is actually supposed to go up. all
Okay,
the
so
way.
that's an entire full wall.
Yeah, it's a full wall.
Okay.
And
There's nothing I can really do right
Hoping it
now,
was
so.
just a half bar
okay.
type
And
thing.
since it was your initiative and the ball of flame would be doing damage on your initiative, Gustav made his save.
And, well, since I got a little bit of an action, I'd probably dispel it.
Okay, let the fire go out.
Yeah.
It's not that big yet, but a reminder that the grass is on fire. Okay, that takes care of Mardok. That brings us to Snorri.
Well, since the spiders are dissipating, I don't need to worry about doing anything with them. I heard this guy scream back that way, so we will head towards the back.
And you can do 6 spaces.
Can I run? I'm not doing anything else.
Uh,
I'm not worried about doing anything else.
yeah, if you run, you can do the double.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. For if you're going to do anything, the most that you can do is 6. The most that you can do is 12. If you're still going to do something else, if you're actually just running and doing nothing but running, reasonably you can actually go 24.
Okay.
Future reference.
Right.
Yeah,
Moving forward.
yeah. Okay, that takes care of Snorri, which brings us to Gustav. Oh, pardon me. No, it brings us to Loke.
Okay. What I'm going to do is, can I continue to sing while I walk over to?
Yes, you can only do your regular walking movement actually, I think that you have a half movement rate. Double check.
Yes.
Oh. Well, this is one of those things that we will remember in future.
Okay.
You have to have been doing your singing and or performing for 3 full rounds prior to combat in order to get the +1 effect. Okay. You must perform for 3 rounds prior to the combat.
Right, right.
Then the effect lasts for 1 round of combat per level of the character.
Okay.
So you would have had to have done it for 3 rounds.
Okay.
Then you would have gotten 5 rounds of effect.
So I can now probably go regular. I don't have to
Yeah,
be
you
singing.
don't have to worry about your
You
movement
sang for
rate.
the last 3 rounds, so now you're able to
Right.
actually do stuff.
Yes.
And I can actually move my full movement.
Yes.
Right here. Way up. And we can narrow it down.
Okay. That takes care of Locke. Gustav. Takes his cloak off and starts beating the fire outside, trying to put it out. Okay, not a whole lot of the grass had caught yet, so he is able to put it out over the course of the round.
That's about
I had 3 of those fire things out just in case.
Yeah.
Yeah, one was going to be the end.
All right, and that brings us into lower field.
And you said the spiders are still there at the moment? Are they, would they do
Oh,
damage
wait,
to me when
actually.
I left?
The spiders actually have a 5 as well, and we never rolled to see which one goes first. So,
What did, or I get out of 4.
you got a 4.
Plus your reaction bonus.
She doesn't have one. Okay, so you go before the spiders do.
So I guess I get damage.
So, if you're doing nothing but warding off the spiders, you only take 1 hit point of damage. If you try to do anything else, you're going to take the regular damage.
So if I were to move,
Moving out is going to actually do more damage than just standing here and swatting at them.
And they're dissipating anyway, so.
yeah, that's part of why I was to clarify what to do next. So I'm gonna swat at them so I take 1 damage.
Okay, 1 hit point of damage. And now the spiders are effectively dissipated throughout the rest of the bar. They have not left, but they aren't acting as a swarm any longer. Some of them are moving into the rafters and leaving.
Going back to their spider lives.
Yep, and that brings us to Jinsarin.
Do I have a line of sight on the guy that, if I move back half my movement away from the door, will I get my bow out and shoot at one of these things? If I can see the one that would just eviscerated the guy in the web. I don't know how this system works.
So if you move half movement rate, then you can still fire a shot. If you stand still right where you're at, you can fire 2 rounds or 2 arrows per round, so long as you stay stationary.
No, let's do
But
that.
can he see?
He's right here
Oh,
towards that guy.
Okay.
So he can shoot the one who just attacked and
Right.
bit the guy in the web.
Right.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay, so you get 2 attacks then. Roll 220.
You wanna roll high.
I got a 6 and a 5.
Okay,
I don't know if I get bonus.
And he has +1 bonus, so
Yep.
7 and a 6.
7 and a 6.
Okay, and you are a rogue,
Yes.
and you're level 5.
Yes.
So that would put you with a THAC0 of 18, yes?
yeah.
It should be on your sheet.
It's not.
Okay, we'll get that fixed. Okay, so you would have an 18 normally. Did you have any dex bonuses for...
Range attacks.
Range
Missile,
attacks.
let's say
Missile
missile
attack
attack.
+1. Yeah.
So it's another +1.
Yeah.
So now it's
8 and 7?
8 and 7.
Okay, and with an 18...
Or 78.
I know it's an 18 naturally.
Okay.
That's what the rogue is at level 5. So what you do is you subtract the armor class of the creature from that, and that's your target number. And in this case, you're not getting anywhere near the number that you need.
Okay.
You need a minimum of 12 after your bonuses.
No.
So right now you need to roll a natural 10 or higher in order to hit the creature that you're aiming for right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
So you fired 2 arrows. It's going to be down with the weapons.
Right. I have nothing in those columns.
Yeah. So your base THAC0 would, or your modified THAC0 would be.
I also got a +1 with short or with any bow. So not if that adds another. It's still not enough. But
For being an elf, yeah, you would. So that would actually mean that you would need a 9 as your base roll. Okay. So he fires 2 arrows and misses with both of them. Apparently, it realizes it is being attacked, and it vaults up into the web, and then comes back down and spits out webbing, and looks like it's creating a garrote to use on you.
do I get 2 attacks with everything?
No, that's only with the arrows, and that's only if you're stationary.
Okay, so 1 attack with daggers and 1 with a short sword.
Correct.
Okay.
However, after the attack and the spitting out, it sees something off to its side. You don't see exactly what it is because you don't have line of sight at the moment. And the both of them, you're presuming, start running off.
No way.
Exit stage right.
something scared.
Something's coming after. What was Nori?
Sorceress.
Sorcerer.
Elf sorceress.
This is definitely a good place to stop. And everybody survived.
Yay!
You came close to killing me again.
We tried really hard.
Dang squishies.
Only you'd been able to be directly attacked by the web lurker. Yeah. And yeah, when it attacked, you saw it attack 3 times. 2 claws, 1 bite. And it only connected with 1 claw and 1 bite for the guy that was in the web. Yeah.
So moving forward, these things have 3 attacks.
Yeah, when things have claws and they're beastie like that, generally they'll get 1 attack per thing.
Swipe, swipe, bite.
Yep.
We don't want to run into another hook boar.
Oh
No.
That was ugly.
Yeah.
It
They
killed
have
almost
6.
all of us, didn't it?
They have 6 claws.
So 6 attacks.
Didn't it kill almost all of us?
No. It was a really weak thing. It got several of you knocked down to 3, 4
Yeah,
points.
almost, yeah.
We had a meat shield and whatnot up front, so
Yeah, the 2 tanks were in the lead, and they were taking the most points of damage. But yeah, it took forever to get that
Well,
guy.
they're
But it got to the back.
They've got ridiculous armor class.
Just that, the new system.
Yeah.
Getting used to that. I realize I need more stuff written on my paper. Since I definitely don't have all the information on there. I do like the way the system works. It is much more, I would say, once you know it, it's more user friendly than all the other stuff that's added with the
More
5th
simplified
edition.
for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
Weird.
It does kind of limit you based on what you're used to with
It
5th edition, but
Right.
at the same time, it streamlines it so it's not as convoluted.
Yes.
So I like that a lot.
Good word for it, convoluted.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the reasons why I like
I
it.
learned that if I sprint, I can run. I would have liked to have done that the first round and made it all
Yeah.
the way to the door the first round. I didn't know that. I thought 6 was the max or whatever. So
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get to that door and see what's going on back there. So moving forward, I know that now. Say sprint and then
Yeah.
twice as fast. So,
Full run.
right.
Doing nothing else. Oh.
Right. Yeah. It's a good time.
Okay. Yeah. I'm enjoying it so far. What about you?
So this is my first time playing a wizard character at all ever. So kind of a learning curve with that. It's definitely easier for me to have my spells for the day written out, typed out with the corresponding page number. Just so I can have it here. Obviously they're here as well, but it just makes it a lot easier having it something for the day.
Right. That is something that Dale did regularly.
Yeah. So having that's nice. Kind of have to go about things differently because I've always been like a fighter type character, so not being able to just run into places, gonna take some getting used to because I'm so squishy now.
Yes, you are the glass cannon.
Yeah, it's it's gonna take a lot more forethought as to like what's going on, what spells I'm gonna be needing, that kind of thing. So that's what I learned is that I need to do a bit better planning.
Also, something very important to note here, once you've cast the spells for the day, you can't learn or memorize any more until the following morning.
Right.
You have to have a full day's worth of time to recharge.
I can still.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's that.
Yep. So one of the things that you're going to have to do is first thing in the morning for the character is spend time memorizing new spells for the day.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have other spells that you haven't already used, those still take up those slots unless you use them.
Okay.
So it's not a case of I'm just going to mind wipe myself. You have to actually cast them. If you're casting them and you're actually getting a benefit from it, not just casting for casting's sake to clear your memory,
Right.
then you actually get experience points based off of the spells that you've used. With clerics, it's a different scale, but every time that you use spells, you get experience points as long as it's being done for a beneficial reason.
Okay.
With fighter types, with like Mark's character, the more damage that he does and the more creatures that he kills single-handedly or gets kill shots on, more experience for just him for doing one-on-one combat. As opposed to, I'm going to cast spells because I'm a spellcaster. That's
Well,
my
that's
job.
different too than what I played because I've always played it as like milestone type thing. So like after you beat the big bad or whatever
Well,
bosses as you go along.
that makes a lot more sense in the new system because everybody has the same experience point total to hit in order to advance. Whereas in this system, each class has their own experience point cap to go to the next level.
Right.
So
It really sucks for wizards.
it is slow progression for wizards. You have some of the slowest progression in the game with regards to experience points, but a portion of that is based off the fact that you're supposed to get a collective experience point total as well as an individual experience point total.
If you're crafty with how you use your spells, you can level up quicker.
That's the thing. Being able to utilize your spells as much as possible, as usefully as possible, in order to get the. Also, if you have a particularly ingenious idea, that's part of creative role play. That gets a separate experience point bonus by itself.
Okay.
So if you had the idea of, hey, I have something ice-based and that fire out there, I can take care of the fire in order to save the town, that in and of itself would have been bonus on top of casting the spell.
Okay. Cool. Well, that is entirely different.
Yes. There's a lot more bookkeeping involved in this system. But the system itself is more user-friendly because you don't have all the extra stuff to try to remember.
Right.
I'm doing one thing this round. I'm moving and I'm hitting something. I'm moving and I'm casting a spell. I'm moving and I'm trying to pick a lock. That's it. That's all you got. So that makes it a lot more streamlined, in my opinion. You don't have to try to remember, well, how many actions do I have this
4
round?
attacks, 2 bonus actions.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. One of the many reasons why I prefer this system over the new stuff. Also, I don't like the woke. So, there's that. All right. Anything else that you learned this week?
I think that's it.
Okay. What'd you learn?
Well, I learned some more history about the deals. Doing my thing to try to lend a hand, and I think it went pretty well. Yeah, I started off before 2nd edition, so it was actually the 2nd edition for me. Yeah, even from the first system, you will feel a difference in the character creation, the numbers you have to write down. It does. 2nd edition actually really simplifies role playing, and I don't think it's too simple. I'm a die-hard 2nd fan. The races aren't as confusing. You can be this, and that's it, or you are not.
Right. And there's limitations on what you can be class-wise with regards to
Right.
races.
Right.
Right.
This is
You
more
can't
on the
have dark elves.
gameplay as opposed
Yeah.
to the
But
like I said, the other convoluted stuff.
Yes. The convoluted stuff, to me, makes it feel more like a video game and more like everybody has to have representation, regardless of whether or not you need representation.
yeah, and that's one thing I think 2nd edition did well. You know, it's this is it, bam, there is nothing more. You got to this level, you can do this, guess what, that's it, you don't get any more. Yeah. But that's about it for me. I mean, learning about I've done a lot of studying on the Dalelands, and some of the stuff I really didn't know. You know, some of the stuff we're running into, I really.
Some of it. And some of this is based off of actual modules.
Yeah.
As though, so we are running this as analogous to actual modules. This way, some of the stuff that is pertinent to the module is still pertinent in game, but it's not running the module it's as though somebody else ran the module and now you're doing cleanup afterwards.
Right. Yeah, and it's set up that way. This edition is set up where you can do that. I mean,
And even if it wasn't, I've got enough experience I can do that.
right.
All right. Danny, what did you learn?
That I need to make sure and clarify with people what spell I'm doing and how it affects them, so that way they don't run and counter what I just did for them.
That is handy. Knowing all of the specifics of your spell is definitely a necessity in this version.
Yeah. Because I forgot to write down that they can't attack.
Yeah.
Uh,
Quite often it's used by clerics to cast it on themselves so that they can walk around and heal people that are involved in combat so that they don't have to worry about being attacked.
yeah,
while
after
they're
you
healing
told
people.
me that, I was like, I probably should have cast on myself. And then, but,
Cure light wounds. Cure light wounds.
yes.
Yes.
She learned a decent amount about the history of the area again. And then she's probably thinking about doing some research on the other clerics so that way she knows what she might be having to counter later. And figuring out what she needs to do to have the negate poison, which I looked in the book. It's a 4th level spell.
Oh,
not
the
third.
fourth level, that was third.
Yeah, neutralize poison. So it's
Right.
not like it's something that they can just buy off the shelf. Again, that's one of the differences between this edition and 5th edition. You can't just go to the local apothecary and buy a potion.
Right.
I think
Not
this one
necessarily.
actually encourages the group dynamic more than
The
the fifth edition.
individual.
'Cause,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Which I'm not sure if I'll be able to do 4th level spells at my next level up or if that's later on. Because I'm a level 6.
I think it's 8.
It's either 7 or 8. But we can look that up here in a second.
But realizing that she's going to need to learn that spell, so that's going to be her priority once she's able to.
At level 7, you get 1/4 level spell.
There you go.
Good to know. I'm about a little over 20,000 experience.
Nice.
So, feasible.
Yep. Possible.
And then the main thing is communicating with other spellcasters as well.
Right.
Because we all have the same idea of summon swarm. Which is nice to have that many people
Yeah.
being able to do something like that, but it's also communicate so we're not all doing the exact same spells.
Right?
Unless it works, like in this
Yeah.
Yeah.
case, it worked well.
In this case, it worked great, but like, in case we're dealing with things that are affected by fire, it's good for him to do his fire stuff, but if we only have that and don't have anyone doing ice or something like that, in case we run into something that's weak
Gust
against
of
that.
wind or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. So being able to communicate beforehand, since we all can do those kind of spells,
Yep.
would be a good idea moving forward, but since we already had our spells chosen for the day.
Right. Like if you had gust of wind, you could have tried to use that to put out the fire instead of Gustav beating it out using his cloak.
Yeah.
Blow it out like a candle.
Right. So I mean, the wizard's gonna have like a morning meeting as to like what should we.
What are we gonna memorize for the day?
Right. That makes sense.
Because I
Yeah,
have a set
makes
of
it better
spells
group
that,
dynamic,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because you guys can coordinate.
Yeah.
because I have a set of spells I can do once a day as a cleric of Mystra
Mhm.
on top of the other spells that I can do. Because
cool.
I can do 12 spells a day. I can learn 12 spells a day, and then I have my 5 other spells that I can do once a day.
Memorize.
Yes.
Not learn. That's different.
Oh.
Because with you have access to all of the spells that are in your spheres
Yes.
for major, and then up to a certain level for minor
Yes.
sphere. As opposed to them, they have to actually roll to learn new spells.
Yeah.
So if you find somebody else's spell book, or the two of you decide, hey, I never have seen that. Any chance I could write that into my spell book? You could conceivably try to copy in spellbook information one to the other, so that he could then learn spells that you know that he doesn't, and vice versa.
Oh.
But with that, if I know what spells you guys can do, then I can make sure I'm doing the ones that you can't.
Right.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. 'Cause that's an entirely different mechanic, that's specific just to the wizards.
Because I just pray to my God and she blesses me with the
Whatever.
spells I'm asking for.
Yeah. You actually have to make a roll to see if you can learn a new spell when you have that provided to you. So if you find a scroll, you can try to learn the spell from the scroll, add it to your book, and then you don't necessarily need the scroll, although you could always cast it from the scroll as a magic item, at which point the scroll has the spell removed entirely from it.
Right. That makes sense.
I guess technically the spells for Mistra I don't do on top of my 12. It's they're a mixture of first, well, one's a 5th level wizard spell, but I don't have. I'm not 5th level.
What? We'll go over that one here in a
Yeah.
bit. Let's go ahead and move on to what else he
Yes.
learned, and then we'll figure out the questions on that.
Okay.
All right, Dale, what did you learn tonight? If not combat-wise, what did you learn plot-wise?
I still don't like spiders. I could have probably resolved this pretty quickly, but with a lot of collateral.
Well, yeah.
And I'm trying to not burn any more buildings down.
I'm sure that the barkeep and the owner really appreciate this.
Yeah. We got some more info out of Feller about their adventure and what took place. Kind of a little more about the spirit, all that fun stuff. Still not really digging these web fellers. They're kind of gnarly.
Not to mention, it's weird that they were out and attacking you in the middle of the afternoon.
That was
Yeah.
Sounds like
That threw me off
Yeah, they're more nocturnal. Come on now.
because I thought they wouldn't attack until the night, so I thought we had until the night to get us all together.
Also, it's showing that they're capable, or at least have a higher level of intelligence than what I naturally assumed. If one of them was able to be a spellcaster of some sort, or enchantress, or something to that nature.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a higher level of intelligence available to these guys than just being beasts.
Yeah, they're not drones. They're,
It's not just animal intelligence,
yeah.
which is scarier.
The whole fun wizarding bit, like I was explaining last time, I have my fun little note cards for the day that I write stuff out on. So, like what he was saying, you gotta memorize for the slots. My normal day-to-day, unless I'm tailoring for something, like I'll take 2 slots of magic missiles, 1 of my cantrips, 1 shield spell, 1 summon swarm, 1 alter self, and 1 fireball. And that fills out my slots.
right.
That way, anytime I end up using one, if you have burned your spell, you could potentially cast it again, but you would sacrifice it for good. You could rip the page from your scroll or spell book and burn it like a scroll. So if I cast my fireball and a round or 2 goes by and I'm on death's door and everyone's all messed up and, you know, I have a slight feeling I might be able to do a death blow on something, I could sacrifice ever being able to know fireball by ripping
Until
it.
you find it on a different scroll or something like that.
You'd have to find it in order to add it back into your...
And you'd have to relearn it.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But basically you would wipe it from your memory and you'd be unable to...
Cast it in the for the foreseeable future.
Right.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, we're leading with spellcasters. I'm a bard. I get first level spells. I get, let's see here,
You get
3 first level spells and 1 second.
Because in case...
And, you know,
technically speaking, you could actually compare spell books with him too, and he could also compare spell
that
books
was
with you.
that was one thing that I wanted to do. Bards had to have a book, or
Yes, they have to have a book.
Case
Okay.
in point, when I was talking about the green dragon fight, the dwarven skeletons I summoned, I had ripped the page out of one of the spell books that I was trying to learn from, and I had burned that as a last resort.
He hadn't learned the spell yet, but he cast it as though it was a scroll, and boom, so now he no longer has access to that spell.
Yeah. So that's a couple of the insights on the wizarding side. You got a lot of utility, but it's what you want to sacrifice in order to make use of it.
Right.
and me, I'm feeling lazy the first time I play a bard. I'm feeling lazy for just singing about it,
Right, and
but I was actually doing something. It didn't feel like I was doing something.
and technically speaking, the bard's inspiration is intended to be something where you know you're going to go into a fight. You do the 3 rounds of singing, and then you fight. Once
Right.
the fight has started, you're not supposed to be able to do the.
And see, that's something that I learned. I mean,
Yeah, that's a oops. Okay.
Yeah.
Future reference.
Yep. Now, if you start singing and we've already rolled initiative, is that negated or
Well, you have to have done it for a full 3 rounds prior to the
before?
combat.
Yeah. Okay.
So, that
How
is
long
something-
does it last?
1 round for every level that he is his character. So he has 5 rounds once he has.
In 5 rounds, you can do a lot. You know, if you got the right party, you can do a lot.
And he can affect
Yeah.
anybody within a range of 10 feet per experience level in order to do this. So this is generally done to try to help out in a larger
Around
combat.
the campfire right before we
Yeah.
go to battle.
Yep. We can hear things in the woods. We know what's coming. Inspire us.
Let me tell you a tale. Yeah.
Yes.